confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County in the last 24 hours is 2,232, with 5 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 29 additional cases were reported and no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Leslie Robbins. It's Monday, August 30th. Nearly 100,000 Americans are currently hospitalized with COVID-19, and researchers say that many people could die if nothing changes. A recent model by the University of Washington shows another 100,000 coronavirus-related deaths are possible in the future, but the nation's top infectious diseases expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, reminded Americans that this can all be prevented if the 80 million people who are eligible for vaccinations get their shots now. He urges people to put aside ideologic, political, or other differences and just get vaccinated, as hospitals brace themselves for another surge with a daily average of 155,000 newly reported infections. Last week, many hospitals across the South reported oxygen shortages amid a rise in hospitalizations due to the coronavirus. Among those hospitalized were pediatric patients, which have also been increasing since students returned to schools. Well, here in LA County, public health officials are seeing a spike in COVID-19 cases among unvaccinated children ages 12 to 18 over the past couple of weeks. The case rate jumped from 73 to 307 new cases per 100,000, compared to a much smaller increase among vaccinated children from 11 to 76 per 100,000. Public health officials say it is important to note that while cases among children went up across the board, there is a fourfold difference in the case rate between the vaccinated and unvaccinated. Those 12 and older are eligible to get the Pfizer vaccine for free at any county and city site without an appointment. And many school districts and individual schools are offering vaccinations over the next few weeks. LAUSD, which has more than 45 standing school sites, will also roll out a mobile vaccine campaign, administering vaccines at every middle and high school in its district. Anyone in LA County interested in getting vaccinated can, of course, visit vaccinatelacounty.com for more information and to make an appointment. A revised health officer order in LA County will soon require weekly COVID-19 testing for all local sports leagues. That new order takes effect September 1st and applies to youth and adult participants, coaches, volunteers, and anyone else officially affiliated with the sports activity. And every participant must get tested within 72 hours of any game involving 2 or more teams. City leaders and other agencies spoke with public health department officials regarding the coming changes, and it is likely the new order will pause youth and adult sports activities. The city's recreation staff will make every effort to alter current and planned programming for a return to the, quote, skills and drills format. Organized youth sports include all school, that's TK through 12th grades, community-sponsored programs, recreational and athletic activities, and privately organized clubs and leagues. Organized youth sport protocols do not apply to collegiate or professional sports. County officials say this protocol is an effort to present less risk for sports participants. They previously announced a mask mandate requiring everyone, regardless of vaccination status at youth sports settings, to bring and wear masks when indoors. The Delta variant is doing a lot more than getting people sick. It's also starting to drag down the U.S. economy. Recent numbers show that people are traveling and dining out less. And as a result, businesses are delaying a return to normal operations. Airports across America saw a drop in the number of travelers. Last Tuesday, 1.47 million travelers took to the skies, the fewest in more than 3 months. The Transportation Security Administration data also reveals the 7-day average has declined to around 1.76 million passengers a day in late August, compared to more than 2 million last month. Now, while summer vacation may partly contribute to the downward trend, airlines also cite the Delta variant. At restaurants, seated dining across the U.S. also continue to sink lower. It has been running about 10 to 11% below 2019 levels in recent weeks, after narrowing the gap to just 5 or 6% below in late July. OpenTable, a company that processes online reservations, notes that concerns about the Delta variant and city mandates are playing a role in this shift as well. Chief Executive Debbie Sue says while several factors could be at play, they believe the primary driver of the downward turn is diners' concerns about the rise in COVID cases. Hotel occupancy is also hitting another wall. STR, a lodging data tracker, reports that average room rates have declined for the past 3 weeks. Occupancy dropped by more than 40% in San Francisco, the most of any market. Now, this all trickles down to the slowdown of the job market as well. While many employers are still struggling to fill positions, Indeed is also noticing a decline in job postings, especially when it comes to positions that require close contact with the public. For example, the employment website saw a drop in postings for jobs at child care centers or at the dental office. Meanwhile, big U.S. companies are thinking twice about bringing employees back to work. Average office occupancy in 10 of the largest business districts fell to 31.3% of pre-COVID-19 levels in mid-August. Business analysts say the return to normal offices have slowed due to the Delta variant, and this trend also affects other businesses that depend on office workers, such as dry cleaners and urban restaurants. The summer surge in COVID-19 cases is also affecting the space industry. NASA delayed a September liftoff by a week due to the coronavirus patients' needs for oxygen, and more space flights are expected to get postponed for similar reasons. Liquid oxygen is being diverted from rocket launch pads to hospitals. The oxygen chilled to its liquid form at 300 degrees below zero is actually a crucial propellant for companies such as SpaceX, United Launch Alliance, and Virgin Orbit. But it's also equally, if not more important, for people who are on ventilators due to COVID-19. And they take precedence when it comes to the gas supply chain. As a spokesperson with the Compressed Gas Association says, quote, "People come first." Oxygen supplies have grown tighter nationwide due to the medical use of oxygen, and the most urgent need right now is in Florida. A spike in coronavirus infections at cities including Orlando and Tampa even led to water use restrictions because some water treatment plants use oxygen in the sanitizing process. Labor shortages among commercial truck drivers who specialize in transporting oxygen have also compounded the supply bottlenecks. The president of the Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, Gwen Shotwell, sounded the industry alarm last week at a space symposium in Colorado, asking anyone with spare oxygen to please contact her. Elon Musk tweeted that the dwindling liquid oxygen supplies pose a risk, but is not yet a limiting factor for SpaceX launches. The Hawthorne-based company launched 26 rockets last year and plans to surpass that total this year. So far, it has completed 20 launches in 2021, with many more expected to come. A lockdown in New Zealand's major city just got extended by another 2 weeks. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern gave the strict orders for Auckland, located in the northern part of the country. New Zealand has been largely virus-free for months until an outbreak of the Delta variant from Australia led Ardern to set a nationwide lockdown on August 17th. Infections reached 562, but the number of daily new cases dropped to 53 on Monday. the lowest over the past 5 days. But also on Monday, the country reported its first death linked to the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. The health ministry announced that a woman died due to myocarditis, a rare side effect of the vaccine that causes an inflammation of the heart muscle. Around 1.7 million Aucklanders will remain in the strict level 4 lockdown for another couple of weeks, while the rest of the country eases into level 3, which mandates people to stay home when not at school or work. About 21% of the 5.1 million people living in New Zealand are fully vaccinated. Ardern says the country has 840,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine remaining and continues to receive 350,000 doses every week. Flags will be flown at half-staff through this evening in honor and remembrance of those killed in Afghanistan. Last Thursday's terrorist attack claimed the lives of 13 American service members and a number of other victims in Kabul. President Joe Biden ordered U.S. flags at all public buildings and grounds, military posts, and naval stations to be flown at half-staff through the end of today. The same order applied to all U.S. embassies, consular offices, and other facilities abroad. Several of the service members killed were from California, including 23-year-old Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole L.G. of Sacramento. The U.S. Department of Defense shared this picture of Sergeant G holding a baby at Hamid Karzai International Airport just days before the terrorist attack. 22-year-old Marine Corps Corporal Hunter Lopez was from Indio. Lopez was the son of 2 Riverside County Sheriff's Department officers. Sheriff Chad Bianco said Lopez planned on following his parents' footsteps and joined the department as a deputy when he returned from deployment. 20-year-old Marine Corps Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola was from Rancho Cucamonga. He was a graduate of Los Osos High School, where students honored him at a football game on Friday night by wearing red, white, and blue. And 20-year-old Marine Corps Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nikui was from Norco. Norco Mayor Kevin Bash said Nikui died helping to save families of Afghans who had aided the U.S. government. Bash said he was in the process of saving children and translators. He had passed off a child and went back into the crowd when the bomb went off. The attack marked one of the deadliest days for American forces in the past decade of the 20-year war in Afghanistan. Well, back here in California, evacuation orders expanded this morning for sections of Lake Tahoe as the Caldor fire rages on. People were ordered to immediately evacuate in multiple parts of El Dorado County, including parts of the tourist city of South Lake Tahoe. This comes a day after several communities just south of the lake were told to flee. South Lake Tahoe's main medical facility, Barton Memorial Hospital, also relocated more than 50 patients on Sunday. 36 people needing skilled nursing services and 16 in acute care beds were sent off to regional facilities farther from the fire. The remainder of the hospital evacuated today following expanded orders from fire officials. South Lake Tahoe Mayor Tamara Wallace also left home ahead of evacuation orders with her husband and their dogs, saying she did not think the Caldor fire would come so close. She noted that previous fires had not spread as quickly in the resort city of roughly 22,000 people and said it's just another example of how wildfires have changed over time. So far, the fire destroyed multiple homes along Highway 50, one of the main routes to the south end of the lake. The flames also affected the Sierra at Tahoe Ski Resort, damaging some buildings. The Caldor fire scorched more than 177,000 acres since August 14th, and at last check was only 14% contained. Torrance firefighters have continued to send help during California's historic fire season. Assistant Chief Carl Bisonsini says they've been assisting partner agencies since July, deploying both apparatus and personnel to the Caldor and Dixie fires. A total of 15 Torrance Fire Department members have aided in the firefight. The assistant chief says they remain steadfast in their commitment to protect both lives and property throughout the state and keep all community members and personnel in their thoughts and prayers. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of uncured meat are being recalled due to possible salmonella contamination. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced that about 862,000 pounds of antipasto products were sold in ready-to-eat containers between February 28th and August 15th. Costco is one of the places that sold these snacks. Fratelli Beretta USA, Inc. packaged and shipped these items to retail locations nationwide. Reports of people getting sick in 17 states led to this recall. If infected with salmonella, symptoms include diarrhea, abdominal cramps, and fever within 6 hours to 6 days after consumption. The illness usually lasts 4 to 7 days, and most people recover without treatment. Officials say older adults, infants, and people with weakened immune systems are more likely to develop a severe illness. Anyone concerned about an illness should contact their healthcare providers. The Food Safety and Inspection Service urges those who recognize this product in their homes to throw them away or return them to the place of purchase. Consumers with questions can also call Fratelli Beretta's recall hotline at 1-866-918-8738. Well, the biggest pop-up of contemporary art in Southern California history took place right here in Torrance.
There's so much potential here. I'm eager to see it grow. I think it's a wild and wonderful, ambitious project that gives artists a sense of community as well as a chance to come out of hiding, to shine, to present what they've got.
Over the weekend, 87,000 square feet of empty commercial space at the Del Amo Crossing transformed into a lively exhibit featuring 500 artists, DJs, and live performance art. Attendees navigated through 5 floors to see works of all media types and disciplines. Presented by the Torrance Art Museum, the one weekend-only event allowed a safe space for curators and gallerists to catch up with what they've been doing in their studios during the pandemic. The free event also included fundraising efforts where all artworks were priced at $100, allowing collectors to take home their favorite pieces of art while supporting the museum's efforts. Nomad also became a closing event to Ultra, the city's inaugural public art project that launched last month and featured 20 artworks located across Torrance. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community, pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Over the weekend, luminaria bags were placed around the city of Torrance by the Torrance City Hall fountain to honor both cancer survivors and those who lost their battle with cancer as part of the American Cancer Society's Lights of Hope Across America. This was a COVID-aware event, so there wasn't a crowd, but cities across the country held local ceremonies like this to celebrate the 11th anniversary of this national event, and volunteers collected a total of more than 50,000 lights of hope. What a touching way to show how Torrance cares. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that is our update for COVID-19 today. We will see you back here tomorrow as Rhiannon Trutanich brings you the latest. Please be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.